Hi everybody, I'm Prince Tumi. Welcome to Writing Thoughts. So, do you know what I love about shonen anime? One thing I really love, aside from the fighting, aside from the humor, is how shonen anime, well at least the ones I've watched, often have this incredible message of positivity. Whether it be a message about the power of friendship, a message about family, a message about being hopeful in struggles, shonen anime always has a positive message, even if it's set in an environment that's completely negative and completely hostile and completely scary. If the characters within the anime are not positive, they are striving for hope. They are fighting for a better tomorrow. They don't wallow in their dark little cloud of self-pity, patting themselves on the back saying the world is a dark place, and because I know the world is a dark place, I'm wiser for acknowledging it. No, they reject that and they try to make things happier for themselves, even if it means they have to suffer in order to reach their goal of happiness. And I love that. I love that mentality. I love that never give up, keep moving forward, keep bettering your future by working in your present for it mentality. I love that shonen anime preach this message so strongly. As I get older, more and more news stories coming from the western side of the world keep preaching this message that the world is a dark place, the world is a grim place, the people in the world are dark and grim, everybody you're going to interact with is dark and grim, people are out to get you, people are out to screw you over, everybody is evil, everybody is vile, if they're good to your face, they're probably stabbing you in your back, etc, etc. There is this atmosphere of such hopelessness and such negativity all the time, and even the heroes in many stories are so dark and so brooding and so negative and lacking more and more morals with each new story. And each time people talk about these stories, they always say, yes, it's good, we need dark heroes to match our dark world, and they keep going on and on about how dark and brooding heroes and these dark, bleak stories are mature and wiser and smarter than the cheerier, more hopeful stories. And I've got to say, that's a load of nonsense. Is there darkness in this world? Absolutely. Are there people who suffer in this world? Oh, absolutely. People are suffering every day. People are getting killed every day. There are women who are getting raped every second of every day right now as I speak. The world is full of darkness and full of suffering. But that's not all there is to the world. There is goodness too. For every broken and dysfunctional family, there's a family that supports and loves each other. For every person who has used their horrible backstory and their horrible background as an excuse to do bad things and to screw people over and to abuse people, there are people who have gone through the same level of abuse, the same level of crap, the same level of suffering, and have chosen to make their future better, and have chosen to treat others better, and have chosen to help those who have suffered just as they have. The world is full of darkness. Yes, but there is also light. And we keep acting like any sign of light in the world, any sign of positivity in the world, any sign of levity in the world is somehow childish, immature, unintelligent, and unrealistic. But it's not. Frankly, cynicism is lazy. Cynicism says that I am not going to try and make things better because what's the point? Whereas positivity and a good hopeful spirit says, yes, what I'm going through is bad. Yes, things are bleak, but despite this, I am going to continue fighting for a better tomorrow. Things may be bad for me, but I am not going to let this bad situation steal my joy. I am not going to let the people who have screwed me over stop me from being good to people. I am not going to let the pain that I have experienced in my life be my excuse to hurt other people. Instead, I am going to learn from my pain, and I am going to use these lessons to help me better understand other people who are suffering so that I can help pull them out of their pain. Those are the types of heroes I like to get behind. Those are the types of protagonists that I root for the most. Yes, I enjoy a good brooding hero as much as the next guy, but when those are the only protagonists or the only heroes I see, I get sick of it, because not everybody should be like this. There should be light heroes to shine a light in this dark world and chase away the darkness. They shouldn't be here just to match the grittiness of the world. They should try to make the world a little less gritty. What is the point of having a hero if he's going to be no different than the things he's fighting? Then we may as well have heroes in our stories at all. And why are we clinging so hard to grimdark as if it's realism, when in the real world we have light and dark? Yet grimdark claims that we only have darkness in the world and no light at all. But that isn't true. Light and dark are constantly in conflict with one another in this world, one hoping to get the upper hand on the other. You can see it in every home, in every person, in every country, in every city, in every school. Even with your own internal conflict, light and dark are constantly in conflict within you. Your positive and your negative outlook are always in conflict, and it is up to you to choose which one you're going to feed and which one you're going to starve, so that you can know how you will go forward. A positive attitude is what makes you survive this world, whereas a negative attitude eventually leads to you giving up and sinking lower and lower and lower as you make yourself more miserable. And you may call yourself wise for being miserable. You may call yourself strong for being miserable, but on some level you have got to accept that you are just using that as an excuse to never grow, to never be truly strong. And now, I am not coming down on people who have chronic depression or anything like that. All I am saying is, I am sick and tired of watching people romanticize darkness, bleakness, depression, and mental health issues as if this is something that makes you stronger, when they should be seeking out help. Seeking out help and choosing to fight against the things that are bringing you down is true strength, because it is hard. It is so much harder to fight against the thing that is hurting you than it is to just be complacent and let it hurt you. When you're surrounded by so much negativity and a negative environment and negative people, and you are still clinging to your dream even though everything around you says that you cannot achieve it, you are showing so much more strength than the crowd of naysayers who are not even trying because they know how much it hurts to try. When you choose to start friendships with people even when other people have hurt you over and over and over again, you are showing more strength and more courage, because while the cowards pull away saying, I cannot do this anymore, I would rather reject people than let them hurt me again, than risk letting them hurt me again, you are saying, you know what, yes, sometimes when I get close to people, I do get hurt, but there are other people who make getting close to them worth it. So I am going to take the risk of being hurt, even by the ones I love, because some people make it worth it, and I will get something worthwhile from this relationship, and they will get something worthwhile too, while I find a person worth putting this effort for. This is why I love friendship messages and anime so much, because they always preach the idea that for every person who is hurting you, who is bringing you down, even if it's crowds and crowds of people, there will still be at least one person who will treat you right. So look for the one amongst the crowd of backstabbers, because they are going to help you cope. They are going to help you get stronger. They are going to help you love yourself when you find yourself unlovable. I love stories that teach you that. And when you are surrounded by so much struggle, and when you are constantly striving to make your life better, and you constantly fall over and over and over again, a positive story that is about your exact situation, with heroes who constantly try and fail until they eventually succeed, those stories motivate people who are suffering. Those stories motivate people to keep pushing on towards their dreams. Shonen anime inspires me to pursue my dreams even though I'm currently struggling. And I am struggling. But while I watch My Hero Academia while I work, or while I watch Naruto while I work, or read positive stories, or just listen to other people's positive stories about how they overcame struggle, it inspires me to keep moving on. You have to remember that your story needs to help people find an escape from this world. Not a permanent one, but something that can just rejuvenate them again, that can strengthen them again when they are down. And this is what positive stories do. When your spirits are low, a good positive story can pick you up. A good positive story can make you feel like you can accomplish anything. A good positive story can pull you out of this rut that you're in and make you keep fighting. And that is what I love. Attack on Titan is extremely bleak, and it has so much struggling and suffering, and people are constantly dying. And yet, despite all of the death, all of the suffering, all of the trauma that all the characters go through, they still see a destination of hope, and they keep pushing forward towards it. And that is what keeps them fighting. That is what keeps them moving forward, and that is what keeps them looking for new creative ideas. They do not let the pain and the suffering of their world stop them from moving forward, but they let it motivate them to keep moving on and to keep coming up with new creative solutions. Pain and suffering and struggle and obstacles can either break you, or they can be stepping stones for you to move along. If you find an obstacle in your way, you can choose to either let it be an excuse for you not to move forward, or you can let it motivate you to find a new creative way to go around, over, or under it to the other side. This life is not easy. Succeeding in this world is not easy for most people. But the ones who continue fighting, who continue being hopeful, who continue being positive, those are the ones with the true strength. And you know who criticizes them the most? The ones who criticize these people the most are the ones who never try, are the ones who remain complacent, are the ones who remain cynical and pat themselves on the back for their great wisdom while never accomplishing anything. But the ones who remain hopeful and who keep telling themselves, I can do it, I can do this, they end up being the people of influence. They end up being the ones who become successful. Do negative people become successful? Yes, some of them do. I can admit that. But those people often bring others down to lift themselves up, whereas positive people bring themselves up, but they pull other people up with them. And I love stories that reflect this message and that teach me how to be a better friend or how to keep moving forward, and that also just encourage me to never give up. And this is why I love shonen anime, because no matter how much the characters suffer, they don't give up. And if a character ever does give up, they have a positive role model or a positive friend around them who comes down to their level and picks them up and helps them move forward. They'll even move forward with them together. These anime also teach that even if your family abuses you, it doesn't mean you're unlovable, because chances are you can find a friend who can be your new family and who will value you in the way that your parents or your siblings were supposed to. That is a positive thing. It is a positive thing to teach people that they can still be loved even if they grew up in an unloved environment. I will always advocate stories that preach positivity, even if the characters have to suffer in order to reach a better future. One thing I loved in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was the scene where Edward Elric was standing on top of the roof of the Rockbell home. He had finally gotten his arm back. His brother Al finally got his body back, and as he was looking over his home of Risenbull, he said to himself,
"It was worth it."
And Ed suffered to get everything back. He suffered to get his arm back. He suffered to get his brother's body back. He went through so much pain and so much crap. But he got the thing he was fighting so hard for. And at the end of the story, he was able to say it was worth it. He didn't let his suffering be an excuse to give up and to stop trying. He kept moving forward. I love that Ed's motto in the original Full Metal Alchemist anime was keep moving forward, keep moving forward, stand up and move forward. It always gave me chills anytime that anime brought that message back in every bleak and depressing moments, because Full Metal Alchemist could get depressing and it is a sad anime, but no matter how many times it got sad, the characters could always pick themselves up and keep moving forward. I'm not going to tell you what stories you should or shouldn't write, but I'm asking you to think strongly about what I'm saying. If you agree with me, comment below. If you don't agree with me, it's fine. Let's discuss it. Comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. But please, take my words to heart. Think about how your story could help somebody. As much as you want to tell a good story, and it is good that you want to tell a good story, think about how your story is going to affect people. Will its message bring them down, or will it pick them up? I encourage you to write a story that picks them up, even if it has a difficult lesson to teach them. At least these are my thoughts on how stories should be written. I believe that every story should inspire somebody, even if you have to put your characters through hell in the process. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time, my loyal subjects.